love it. So did you already do? I grew up in Mike went to Bartlett. Yeah. So Brenda and Grace Rest there. Y'all, yeah. I mean, they're a year older than I am, but Mike's.
I'm gonna crouch down a little.
Good morning. Good morning. Come on, we're in Martin, Tennessee. I know you can do better than that. Good morning. Today we're here to celebrate a rich tradition of being trendsetters and impacting the nation, by recognizing three wonderful individuals who you'll hear more about in a few minutes. But first, I want to introduce the following individuals. If you would please hold your applause till they're all introduced. Members of our Board of Trustees, Betty Ann Tanner and her husband, Congressman John Tanner, former Congressman John Tanner. If you would, just raise your hand. Right here. Ms. Janet Wilbert and Teresa Fowler, the student trustee, and joining her is her mother, Marilyn. Glad to have you here. Members of the Chancellor's staff, if you would just wave. Thank you for coming out. Also, Nick and Kathy Dunnigan. Nick is the Chancellor Emeritus, University of Tennessee at Martin. They're joining us today. Dr. Keith Carver, Executive Assistant to the UT President, and his wife, Holly Ann. Mr. Warwick Robinson, his daughter, Aubrey. He's representing the UT Alumni Association as the President-elect. Also, Mr. Lofton Stewart, Executive Director of the UT Alumni Association. If you are a former player of Coach Nadine Gary, I want to hear you yell.
Go Nadine! We all know that.
I knew we could get some yells. If you are a former player or student of Betty Childs, I want to hear you yell. If you are a former teammate or player of Pat Head Summit, same thing. We're also very honored to have Pat's mother, Hazel Head, with us today. Thank you for coming over to celebrate with us. Pat's sister, Linda Atberry, is also with us. This project would not have come to fruition without the support of many individuals. The following donors contributed at least $1,000 and have their name listed on the plaque to the left of the statues. Again, please hold your applause until I finish reading all of the names. Making leadership gifts to this project: Bill and Roberta Blankenship, Richard and Melba Jackson, and Tyrus White. Mona Bill, Jimmy Bell, Johnny and Julia Brundage, Brenda Coos Brooks, Charlie and Shannon Deal, Jana Fuqua, Seal Grassfetter, Jerry and Fessy Hackney, Jim and Mary Lee Hall, Vicki and Barbara Hutcherson, Joe and Pat Johnson, the Kiwanis Club of Martin, Emma Clark Luster, Michael Anthony Luster, Mike and Lauren Luster, Mike and Carolyn Moss, National Cheerleaders Association, Ray and Donna Pollard, Linda Coffey Ramsey, Brian Kendra Smith, William and Lynn Solomons, Fran Spears, Dennis and Judy Suter, Guy and Sandra Robbins, the Universal Cheerleaders Association, the UT Alumni Association, UT Martin Women's Basketball Team, and Donna Wilson. Let's give them all a show of appreciation. It is now my honor to bring forward to the podium for our official welcome to today's dedication, our 9th Chancellor of the University of Tennessee at Martin, Dr. Tom Rex.
Well, good morning to this fine day. I welcome each of you. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Glenda Rex, First Lady at UT Martin. Wave, Glenda. Thank you for joining us. Needless to say, we're quite proud to have this event at homecoming today. We're especially proud to have Betty Giles and Coach Pat Head Summit to allow us to honor you. A lot of times you don't get the opportunity, you miss opportunities. You better recognize your own, because if you don't, other people are not going to. You make us so proud to be here with us today. I'm going to offer you just a brief recap involving women's sports accomplishments from last season. It's too much to go too far with this. Skyhawk soccer team set a school record, 14 victories, and won the OVC tournament, advanced to their first ever NCAA tournament. Skyhawk women's basketball team set a school record, 23 wins, won the OVC regular season title, the OVC tournament championship, and advanced to their second straight NCAA tournament. Whereas you know, Coach Summit. But you know, if you're going to lose, that works out just fine. You got to do what you got to do. We know. The Skyhawk softball team claimed its 4th OVC championship in the last 4 seasons, sweeping the OVC regular season tournament championship and making its second ever NCAA tournament. And you know, the other night I thought someone had broken into the field and were out there under the lights, and Donnelly Canary's got them practicing way early on this. Skyhawk volleyball team. Oh, last night. Team won 19 matches and advanced to the OVC tournament championship for the first time since 2002. And for those off of last night's win, they faced Austin Peay this morning at 11 o'clock. I hope you all got some good rest last night. Skyhawk tennis team made its second consecutive appearance in the OVC tournament championship match and notched a double-figure win for the 16th time in the 20-year history Division I play for our women's tennis team. The Skyhawk equestrian team advanced to the National Collegiate Equestrian postseason for the 7th consecutive season. And let me tell you, they're all big-time schools that they face. The Skyhawk rodeo team won the Ozark region and advanced yet again to the national finals rodeo, top 20, longer than I can remember. Skyhawk rifle team finished in the top 20 in the nation for the 29th time in 30 years. These statues represent an ongoing relationship between faculty and students, a tradition for this campus, our students, and our faculty. The coaching life skills that come along with athletics, and many of us understand it's there for the challenge, but it's also important what we learn to win and lose and go on in later life. it's my pleasure to introduce my boss, Dr. Joe DiPietro, who, Joe, I don't know, this is the 10th or 11th, he wears you out. Joe is here with his wife, Deb, somewhere. Thank you for joining us, too. And, of course, you heard the cheer back here from President Emeritus Joe Johnson and his wife, Pat. Dr. DiPietro spearheaded an effort throughout the UT system to celebrate the Morale Act. It's really, in a very short period of time, served to unite us as a system throughout the whole state, between the campuses and the institutes, really pulling things together. We appreciate that, President DiPietro.
Good morning, and thank you, Chancellor Rakes. And it indeed is fun and a pleasure to be in West Tennessee. I think the major reason is because it looks a lot like home to me. I grew up in a place like this, and you've heard me say that over and over again. And I thought about it flying in today because it's flat here. You can see the horizon forever, and it springs to life every spring, and then you see these crops coming off in the fall, and it sort of goes to sleep during this winter time. But it's special to a kid who grew up on the prairies of Illinois to be in Martin. And I happen to grow around a place just like this. In fact, we faced them as an opponent here at Martin today, Eastern Illinois University Panthers, and I'm rooting for the Skyhawks. Even though my dad and mother lived there for about 50 years, and my dad taught there for about 46, I'm all about the Skyhawks today. So women's athletics is very, very important across our whole University of Tennessee system. And throughout the UT system, on and off the court and fields of play, teams like the Lady Skyhawks, the Lady Vols, and the Lady Mocs are excellent representatives and ambassadors for their sports in this great university. Through athletics, these women can obtain scholarships and, in addition, earn their degrees. And the staffs around them hold the academic mission as important as what they learn on the court or on the field. This year, there we go. Back on. Maybe I stepped on something. Well, I can shout. So this year marks the 40th anniversary of Title IX. And today's students and female athletes are the beneficiaries of the hard work and frustration of many people who struggle for gender equity. Before Title IX was passed 40 years ago, girls who wanted to play sports had to settle for what they could get, and they faced significant adversity. Some had to move to other towns to go to high schools that had women's teams. Some women in college had to settle for playing in intramurals only. Some women had to wear PE uniforms for games or sew felt numbers to their own jerseys. Some women had to wash their own uniforms or drive their own team bus if they had one, or their own cars to get to games. And there was no budget. Some women had to play in gyms with bad lighting and no showers. And it goes on and on. And it's not the case today. And it's in a way we need to thank the women that we honor today in these statues for all they did to make us come a long, long way. UT Martin is proud of its women's sports, particularly basketball. Here, women's basketball started in 1969, before Title IX. UT Martin was one of the schools that helped create the Tennessee College Women's Sports Federation. UT Martin's own Betty Giles was the first chairman in 1970. Do you remember that, Betty?
Yeah.
And of course, one of UT Martin's most famous alumna is Pat Summit. Coach Summit, here with us today, along with her supporters from Chi Omega sorority. Coach Coach Summit helped build the Lady Vols program from the early days of Title IX to what it is today. But she got her start here at UT Martin as a student and basketball star. She played from 1970 to 1974 with a passage of Title IX right in the middle of her career. Now, you know, when I came to Tennessee 6 years ago, Deb and I became Lady Vol fans, of course, and we started going to the game. And I'd watch Coach Summit on television. And there are all those great qualities that you all understand about Coach Summit that everybody wants to emulate. But the first time I ever saw the stare live, I turned to Deb and said, "Man, I wished I had that when we were raising kids." So there are many women and men who help make college sports for women possible and acceptable around the country and here in Martin. We thank all those pioneers and all of those who made their dreams possible. Thanks, this is a great day. Congratulations.
As part of this celebration, I want to tell you a little bit about each of our honorees. Nadine Guerin earned her bachelor's degree from Austin Peay State University in Clarksville and her master's degree from George Peabody College. She began working at UT Martin in 1957. Guerin's efforts led to the development of women's basketball at UT Martin. She served as the head coach of the Lady Pacers for 9 years and compiled a 104-86 record from 1969 to 1978. Her teams won the West District Tournament 3 times. The 1971 team captured a state title, as well as went on to win the Region II tournament and play in the first division of girls and women's sports national tournament. In 1975, Guerin served as the president of the Tennessee College Women's Sports Federation. She was also a member of the Tennessee Education Association, the American Alliance for Health, Physical Education, and Recreation, the Southern Association for Physical Education and College Women, the Tennessee College Physical Education Association, and the Tennessee Association for Health, Physical Education, and Recreation. She is a member of the UT Martin Athletics Hall of Fame. Guerin is the daughter of Mr. and Miss Jack Guerin, was a native of Weakley County. She played basketball at Greenfield High School for 4 years and attended UT Martin Branch from 1953 to 1955. Nadine passed away in 2009. Betty Giles has been associated with the University of Tennessee at Martin for more than 50 years. She was a primary force in beginning the women's athletics program on our campus. A native of Clarksville, Giles served as the director of women's athletics from 1969 to 1994. A 1950 graduate of Austin Peay, she received her master's degree from UT Knoxville in 1952. A professor of physical education, she served as UT Martin's cheerleader sponsor from 1952 to 1973. She started the women's tennis program in 1952 and was coach for 8 years. She has been instrumental in the development of athletic opportunities for women in the state and nation and served on numerous national committees which promoted the growth of women's sports. Giles is past president of the UT Martin Faculty Senate and was named one of the university's top 2 teachers in 1982. She was inducted into UT Martin's Athletics Hall of Fame in 1985. And since her retirement in 1994, she has remained an enthusiastic, and let me say that again, enthusiastic supporter of UT Martin. Fathead Summit was born June 14th, 1952. She graduated from Cheatham County High School in Ashland City in 1970 and received a Bachelor's of Science degree in Physical Education from UT Martin in 1974. Coach Summit played under the direction of UT Martin coach Nadine Guerin and women's athletics director Betty Giles and led the Lady Pacers to a 64-29 record over 4 years. She was the co-captain of the 1976 U.S. Olympic team, member of the 1975 World Championship team, the 1975 U.S. National Team to Taiwan, the 1975 Pan American Games team, and the 1973 U.S. World University Games team. Her accomplishments, to name just a few, include 8 NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championships, 16 SEC regular season championships and tournament championships, 8 SEC Coach of the Year awards, 7 NCAA Coach of the Year awards. She was a 1983 inductee into the UT Martin's Athletics Hall of Fame and a 1999 inductee into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. She was also the 2012 Presidential Medal of Freedom honoree, the highest civilian award given in the United States. Pat was named Coach Emeritus of the Lady Vols basketball program on April 18, 2012. She finished her coaching career with 1,098 wins in AI, AW, and NCAA Division I play. No other Division I basketball head coach, men's or women's, has more than 927 career wins at the end of the 2012 season. At this time, I'd like to ask Betty and Pat, with the assistance of Chancellor Rex, President DiPietro, to come forward to unveil the statue of our dear friend, mentor, Coach Nadine Guerin. On Coach Guerin's clipboard, the following is inscribed: To Coach Nadine Guerin, thanks for investing in me, believing in me, and encouraging me to dream big. Pat Head Summit. For our next unveiling, I would like to ask Mr. Bill Blankenship to come forward to join the group. Inscribed on the megaphone is the following: To Betty Giles, the Tennessee spirit lives forever. Thanks for being my coach, my friend, my mentor, Roberta Blankenship. Bill, thank you for being such an avid supporter of this project, and thank you for your love to our university. Now I'd like to ask Melva and Richard Jackson to join the group at the statues. feel ready. Inscribed on the basketball is the following. To Pat Head Summit, your leadership, loyalty, faith, and integrity are an inspiration to us all. Richard and Melba Jackson. Thank you all. This time, I'd like to give an opportunity for Ms. Giles and Coach Summit. They can't really give a rebuttal. We haven't really roasted anyone. So.
Go first. What a great day. You know, going to UT Martin was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I didn't know that my father, Richard Head, said, "You have no choice. You're going to UT Martin." And I thought, that's a long ways away. And he said, "You need to get out of here." So, you know, I think that it was truly one of the best things that ever happened to me to go to UT Martin, because the people here were so real and just so committed. And I think in my heart, it became the absolutely thing to do. And I can tell you that the people at UT Martin still, I see so many people and say, "Aren't you glad you went to UT Martin?" Yeah! And I said, absolutely. And, you know, it just means that all of you here today are here because you love this university, and we know that. But I will tell you again that this is something that is so dear to my heart. And Betty and myself and Nadine, we put our heads together and made the best of it, and it was absolutely the best thing for me to get out of Henrietta and come here. Now, some of y'all don't know what Henrietta looks like, but coming here was, it was my dad's idea, and I wasn't going to say anything about it. I said, okay, I'll go. And so for all of you that are here, and you love Nadine, and you love Betty, and that's what it's all about, is having those relationships. Thank you.
I certainly want to thank you folks for being here. It means so much to us. It means so much to me. I thank the university for supporting this venture and allowing it. And I certainly thank you folks for making it happen. And that's what you do. In my association with Nadine Geary, oftentimes when there was a time in athletic meetings and so forth, that they asked somebody to speak from UT Martin, and that was often. Nadine never would. She'd always say, "You do it." So I know today I can just see that, not smile now, Nadine had a constant grin. And I can see that grin shining down on us today. And I know so many of you can. You know, I think about this, and a few of you in the audience would be able to relate to this, I think. So many times when people my age communicate with people student age and so forth, like, "Why do you have that big car? It looks like a tank." And, you know, why do you dress like so-and-so? It's so antiquated. And I always come back with, "You're going to miss me when I'm gone." when I said it, they said, "Where you going?" So I'm telling y'all now that Nadine Guerin and Pat Summit and Bev Giles are going to be right here. Come and visit us.
Thank you both for sharing your thoughts with us. We are truly honored to have both of you to be a part of our program today and for your role in our campus's history. This concludes our dedication ceremony. I invite you to enjoy this wonderful day. And 2 days ago we weren't for sure, but I think Nadine had a hand in this day. I invite you to continue to come over and enjoy the statues. Quad City will be taking place at 10:30. We will have a walk in support of the Pat Head Summit Foundation beginning at 11 o'clock outside of the library. You will follow the band and the UTM Skyhawk football team. And also don't forget the return of Beatles tribute band, which will be performing the late 60s Beatles songs. They will be in the Quad City at 11:15. So enjoy today and go Skyhawks!